Good morning, good morning, good morning, B. How is it going?
Going good. How you doing, Mama? Good morning to you. Good morning to you.
I'm good. How you feeling? Did you get some rest?
A little bit, not as much as I should, but I got a little bit. How about you?
I did.
You
I
did?
did.
Good.
Yeah. I got some rest, y'all. Got up. I got up and did something that I have not did in a very long time, but it's something that I used to do every day.
Walk.
Y'all know what it is?
When I walking.
No, but that's coming too, right? So I spent about 45 minutes just sitting on the patio listening to the morning messages from nature. Y'all, so much going on out there. The birds and
You're
the
talking a lot.
whatever else I was hearing. I'm like, okay, what is that sound? But I forgot how much that helped me. Like the longer I sat, matter of fact, I told Stella we were going back and forth a little bit, daughter in love for new people. And I said, I'm on the patio and it was hard to go in. Like I kept looking at the clock, like, okay, I gotta go in, you know. And it was 6:10 and I was kind of I set the show up this morning out there on the patio actually. And y'all, Brandon, when you see today's reading, you just probably gonna be like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. This book, something's going on. Y'all, Miss Brenda, if you went ahead and read, you probably feeling the same way, Mike. If you went ahead and read, y'all, it is following us or we're following it. So I'm good. I'm good. I feel very and I thought about the walking, how you told me, Mom, you gotta, start back walking like you used to. Because I used to do it every day, y'all. But so I gotta make sure that I take care of myself. Like I woke up, I got rest, but I woke up kind of heavy hearted this morning. And I don't know why. I just felt really emotional and very heavy hearted. So I don't know. So something just drew me to and maybe it's for that reason for me to get back to tap back into to making sure I really feed myself in the quiet, simple way that I need to be fed. Right. So I did. I just kind of woke up, I don't know, very emotional, and I don't know why. So, but I'm good. I'm good.
That's okay.
Huh?
So well, that's okay. You just to be
Yeah.
to be sensitive means that your senses are aware, and maybe just listen to it and see what it's saying. And like we always say here, emotions inform your decisions. They don't make them for you. So just
Yeah.
it's just your nature trying to tell you something, right?
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but that's it. But I'm glad
So,
you got out and got some
yeah.
nature. That's
Right. There we go. Let's
all good.
see. I was looking at the stream key that we can get you going. Here. Is that the stream key? It looks different this morning. It's usually really long.
Let me see. I think it is. Oh,
I
actually,
think it might.
I might have given you the URL. Let's see.
It's okay. I'm gonna say good morning to the good people while you're doing that. I know it looks funny this morning. Brenda Davis says happy Friday, everyone. Big Mike, brother Mike says good morning to us. And Miss Brenda Davis said my sister goes outside first thing every morning. Wow. Yeah. It used to be so freeing for me, Miss Brenda. It really, and I, for the life of me, y'all, we just get caught up and we stop doing the things that work for us. It's kind of like, especially with the ladies, how we will buy a product, it works just fine. And then after a while, we got a whole lot of products because we keep, buying new things and all of that. Um, So yeah, I get it. All right, Brandon, it should be back over to you so that we can get
Awesome.
our other people in the house here.
Thank you. Let's see. I think it's coming up here soon. Yep, there we go. We are live.
We are live. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh,
Good morning.
good morning, everyone. IG family, YouTube family and Facebook Live family. We appreciate you coming here for the 135th episode and show of the In This Season podcast. So, welcome, welcome. We are, let me introduce my mother, the powerful, dynamic, motivational, inspirational butterfly. My mother, right there. That's my mom, y'all. Such an inspirational woman. Thank you so much for doing this and for really being the momentum and the driving force behind this. This might have been an idea that was in my head, but you really are the engine um, for this show and for this podcast. And so, thank you so much for leading us every day on this. And then,
Brandon,
of course, my
idea. But I've been begging you. Y'all been begging him to do something with his mama like this. I'm for real. So, it didn't take much for him to I'm like, did you have to ask? For sure. I do this at 1 o'clock in the morning. If that's what time, the only time he could be here. So thank you, y'all. Big ups to him right there. My one and only.
I appreciate it, Mom. I appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. So y'all, welcome. If you haven't been here for a while, I see a couple people joining in. Miss Ida Ismail, thank you for joining us. That's my friend Heba's mom. And Lionson Reese, thank you so much for joining so far too. And hopefully the others that are our regulars on IG Live will be on there soon as well. Well, if you haven't been here, or if you have been here, you already know that every single day at 7 a.m. we come here and we read through Dennis Kimbro's Daily Motivations for African American Success. We started this as a acknowledgement and celebration of Black History Month, and just reading about success, getting affirmations, feeling inspired, and reading things that inspire us to carry out through the day. We started at, just for a month, just for Black History Month, but it worked so well. And then with Mom being the engine that she is, she was like, nah, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. So now, 135 days later, we're still at it, still reading through Daily Motivations for African American Success. Please get the book if you have not gotten it already, whether you're African American or not. This is a very human thing, and it's interesting to through the context of another lens, of another history, of another people, right? So many times we wait to ask for allyship or for understanding from others, from people that come from different walks of life, from people that come from different cultures, and we seldom reach out and look at other cultures, right? And look and read and learn about them, or look at history through the lens of their eyes, right? And see the world through their and their dreams. So I invite you all to do that, whether you're Black, African American, or not. And if you are African American, you already know what's going on. This is the barbecue. This is the cookout. This is the fish fry. This is when the family comes together and encourages one another, right? Encourages one another for success. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. We're not coming together to talk about mess. We're not coming together to just unload our stress. We're here to do something better and, to God willing, be our best. So that's why we're here today. A little bit more about this book. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. So in 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This, no matter where you come from, no matter if you're rich, poor, Black, white, you're gonna get a really. It's not gonna matter, because this is a very human book. And once you see how this book follows us along and speaks to some of our inner natures and awarenesses, and sometimes um, our dormant perspectives and things that we've pushed down and not really brought to the surface or discussed or analyzed or contemplated for a while. So that for me, this book is really doing that. It's giving me extra tools in my belt, extra skills in my skill set of personal development. You know, this is a character building exercise and experience for me. And it says on the back, it says, if there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race,
Mm.
it's character. It's character. The construct of race is an illusion within itself, right? It's a social construct, not a physical, not a mental, not an emotional construct. It's a social construct, one that was created in itself for means of valuing people differently based on their race. But if there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, it's character, right? It's character. So here we're just building our character, not to be more valued by anyone else, but to be the best that we can be for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, um, and for the world. So and for God, first and foremost. So
Brandon, may I,
thank you.
may I, if because I'll forget if I let you start. You
Yeah,
you
so
you remind me, or you bring to mind in saying that, um, this is about, because it says daily motivations for African American success, and something you said triggered unity to me, Brandon, and it's about understanding and coming to this barbecue. I think one thing that we will learn, hopefully, is that, imagine coming to a barbecue where there's all different cultures and foods and things like that, and you're just tasting foods that you deemed or foresee to be, just about this culture, and you taste it and you liked it and you like, wow. Because y'all, we can assign a food category to a certain race, but once you taste it, right, you thinking, wow, I like this, right? I want to know how to make this. And one thing I think we will all learn here, no matter your color, size, any of that, is that the game of life, the race of life, is still the same. If you are valuing life, your life, based on what you have, and I'm going to use money and things. If the rich kid who grew up rich, and he's now a rich adult, he or she will find out, is what they will find out, I believe, my opinion, is that if they're looking outwardly, if they're basing on their life on what they have, how much they have, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, the issues are going to be the same internally. If a person who sees themselves as poor or lacking, and they're basing their life on that, because it's an outwardly thing, the issues internally are going to be the same. What changes is how we look at them, the character we approach them with, the knowledge of God and the understanding of God, and a relationship with God, and an understanding of yourself, a seeing of yourself. Like, there's a spiritual journey that you could begin to take, where what you see, what you hear, how you hear it, what you feel. Like, I have some inkling, before Instagram people came on, I was talking about, I woke up really heavy this morning, very emotional. And I don't know why, but I kind of do. Like, at a certain point, I start to take on the feeling, what the world feels like, the chaotic world, the people. And here lately, I've been just praying for people. In fact, I said, day before yesterday, God, I can only imagine what I looked like to people who were where I am now, um, and based on where I was then. I can only imagine how they looked at me, and just mourned for me, and prayed for me, right? And saw my brokenness. And so I'm seeing a lot of, like, just adults who are still very childlike, still stuck in a place where they can't even be an adult, right? Because they're still feeling the wounds and reliving the traumatic experiences. And so it comes out. And then you have to deal with an adult in a childlike manner because that's where they are. And I don't feel there's any way that you don't get to feel that. And sometimes it seems like they're so attached to it and become it until they look for it and they create it. And so I found myself praying for people. God, just help them break free. Help them break free. And I think I've dealt with it enough to where it's just really simmered with me. And I thank God for being led out to sit on that patio and just release it, pull it in, and be okay. And be okay. So I think one thing we will learn here is the game of life is the same for us. No matter how much money we were born into, the color of our skin, when you have to play your game of life, you got to play it the same way. But maybe a different perspective, whatever. But you got to come to the game, is what I mean. You got to come. So you just triggered that, Brandon. You triggered a lot in that them few little statements you said, but I'm gonna shut up and keep going. Let you keep going.
No, it's okay, Mom. And there's one thing I do want to tell you. Um, um, Looking at other spaces that may not have been normal to you. I remember we did the 12-week course with
Yeah.
Sheikh Yasser Fazaka, and I wanted to tell you because you speak about that often on this show. About you
Mm-hmm.
getting the chance to read the Quran or the chance to compare stories between the Bible and the Torah and the Quran, and then just seeing the unity between those things and seeing the differences even and what that means and what insights we get
Yeah.
from that. I did want to let you know that there's another course that he's doing uh, over the next couple of weeks, but it's in between the prayer that we do at sunset and then the night prayer. And so I thought you would find some interest in that one too. And then
Yeah,
also
I mentioned it to you, I think of a couple,
speaking,
but I'm already have something that day, and I saw something come across on my email about it. But that's the one I was encouraging people to that they should go
I
because
think it's
y'all they
every
were.
Tuesday. It's every Tuesday now.
Oh, so this is a different one. So it's every
Yeah,
Tuesday. Yeah, this is one that they're having on a weekend day that I wanted to go to, but I won't be able to. And just y'all, there were people that didn't know that Jesus was even mentioned in the Quran, right? And there's in the book of Mary is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So y'all, if you're not don't be afraid to try to understand someone else. You don't have to do what they do or practice how they practice. That's your own thing. But I tell you, we were blessed. The people that attended, there's a group of women that are meeting now. I've yet to be able to make one, but the women came together and they're meeting. They're not all of the same faith, but they're still doing their thing. They're connecting, they're loving one another. And that's what the love of God is about.
not the same race, not the same faith,
Right.
not the
Not the
same.
same race, not the same age, none of that. It's just about coming together. And what you will find when you come together that you have more similarities than you do differences.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
That you
and
have
um,
more.
I wanted to say, the last 9 days has been a very special time for Muslims. It's somewhat of a I won't. It's somewhat of a holiday. It's the time when people from around the world by the millions um, travel to make Hajj, and go to Mecca. Um, which interestingly enough was the Muslims believe is the basically the first house of God, the first place where Abraham and his son built the Kaaba, right, or where the Muslims go in Mecca, and so on this weekend we're going to be celebrating the kind of the culmination of that, and then over the next couple of weeks, Mom, they're doing the barbecue with the sheikhs. You mentioned the barbecue. We call this a barbecue all the time,
Hmm.
and so they have. You remember when we brought the grill out there maybe
Yeah.
2 years
Hmm.
ago?
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
same thing. So they're doing barbecues every Saturday, I believe, where
Okay.
anybody come eat some barbecue food, and it's not there's no like sermon or anything. It's just people coming together, having a real barbecue, and then leaving to go pray or whatever they do. So if anybody wants to come to that in Memphis, y'all want to come kick it with us, eat some food, meet some people that you may not have met um, in any other space or place, feel free to come. You're always welcome. At least get you a plate and head out. So I know we gotta get into the lesson, but I wanted to
All right.
extend that invitation on behalf of the Muslim community here. So all right, you ready, Mo?
I am ready.
Ready? I'm excited. I almost want. I was anticipating this since you said it. I'm gonna just drop dead, not drop dead, but drop alive. You know when
Yeah,
I
I was gonna say you just go. I'm
come on.
gone, y'all. I'm out for
Let's
today
see.
because it's Miss Brenda. If you read ahead, let me know. And if you did, what was your thoughts? Same for you, Mike, and whomever else has the book. And you listened yesterday, right? Okay, go at it.
Should I start reading ahead? Because I really like the novelty of not knowing and giving my fresh kind of feeling. Or is it good that one of us do it and sometimes maybe I
I
don't know.
don't do it all the time. So like, but this morning I did. So I was out on the patio and I just the word. Let me put it out here. The word economy got me in the title. And so I
Oh,
remember
interesting.
talking about economy before in a previous day or on a previous day. And so I really did. I read on because I usually do this the night before, but I was just, did y'all see I got day
I about to say
1345?
we've been out here a long time. We've been out here a long time. Grinding. 1 1 3 4 5.
Might I say didn't have glasses on this morning, but that's an easy fix. I
Oh, it's
love
all
my little
good.
kookiness. All right, one still did it wrong. All right,
Take
Brandon,
your
go ahead.
time,
So
baby.
we've
Take your
been here
time.
all day. There we
Remember,
go.
like Auntie Sandy used to tell Dan, get it out now.
Get it out now.
My cousin used to have a stuttering problem, y'all. We ain't picking at Darren. I just thought about him. She used to pick at him sometimes. Say, get it out now, boy. Get it out now. That was
Yeah,
so wrong.
yeah.
But it's all love. You know how it is, y'all.
All up.
So, all right. Today's title is the economy within you. The title itself has already rung a bell with me from yesterday. The economy within you. And the quote from the distinguished African American comes from Janie Mines, who's the first African American graduate from the U.S. Naval Academy. Janie Mines, who said, "Don't be afraid to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is." Oh, yeah. I like that. Because we were talking
Remember
about,
yesterday about the
yeah,
tree and the fruit? Yeah.
yeah. That's
The
funny.
limbs hanging.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Be afraid to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. I like that. I'm gonna keep that. I need to go back and just. We need to just save all the quotes. You know, especially for like when we do the celebration, like 100 day, 200 day, or whatever, and we give out prizes. So y'all, keep paying attention.
Yeah.
We need to keep these quotes.
Yeah.
Um, but don't be afraid to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. And so the title goes, or the passage goes, it is a gloomy moment in the history of our country. Not in the lifetime of most men has there been so much grave and deep apprehension. Never has the future seemed so incalculable as at this time. The domestic economic situation is in chaos. Dot dot dot. The political cauldron seethes and bubbles with uncertainty. It is a solemn moment. Of our troubles, no man can see the end. Those words were not written about the 1991-1992 recession, nor about the 1980-81 or the 1974 or 75 declines. They were published in Harper's Weekly in October 1857. The real cause of the panic of 1857 was fear. It was fear of the devaluing of the American dollar. Fear caused by the failure of a few large corporations, fear of declining stock values, and fear of worker unrest. Today, we call it lack of consumer confidence, but it is the same thing, fear. Fear has caused every panic, depression, and recession that has occurred in this country since 1857. When economic historians write the final chapter on the recession of 1992, they will no doubt conclude that it was made worse by a serious erosion of consumer confidence or fear. Such negative influences feed upon themselves and engender even more negativism. Achievers know that negative attitudes can cause individuals to lose their material wealth and much more, their true riches in life. Keep your fears to yourself, warns Eddie Robinson, the Grambling University football coach, but share your courage with others. So he said, keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. Those who have studied and learned the art of motivation can lay the foundation for increased earnings and the acquisition of wealth, just as many did in past financial crises. Your financial state of affairs depends more on the economy in you than on any external force. So the affirmation that we normally read 3 times, one time for me, one time for you, and one time for the person that you're going to invite to the barbecue tomorrow, this show right here, is don't, I was about to read the quote again, is I will not succumb to fear. The affirmation for today is I will not succumb to fear. Fear of anything. I like that quote. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. So again, the affirmation for today, for the third time, if you said it out loud or read it, if you said it out loud, say it internally. If you said it internally or read it, say it out loud this time. It's at the bottom of your screen. It says, I will not succumb to fear. So what do you think about that, Mom? What do you think about the passage for today? I like it. I really like. I like it
I
a lot.
do. I really like it. The economy within you. And I'll have to go back and find the day that we talked about the economy and all that stuff. Economy, basically the wealth and resources of a country, if you think about it in the sense of, and that's where they're kind of reading about it from. And for me, you guys, when I started to read it, I know this book was written, a long time ago, but I could not help but think about today and what will be written about 2024, like 20, 30 years ago, because I think we're going about our way and we're missing the economy, the state of the economy outside of us, but we're also missing out on the state of the economy within us, right? So, economy, the wealth and resources of a country or region, especially in terms of the production and the consumption of goods and services. There's also a definition here that says careful management of available resources. Careful management. How do you manage the resources or the information or even the things and the money that you have now, right? How do you handle those things? And so we have to address, of course, the word economy. And I have here from our previous day talking about it, from an individual's perspective. Economics frames many choices we have to make about work, leisure, consumption, and how much to save, right? So it's choices it's not about the economy that's happening around us. And I also posted that day how to grow your personal economy, the day that we talked about economy. So I have to go back and pull that out. And it gave us 6 ways to grow your personal economy. But one of the things it says here, if you learn to recognize opportunity, you won't have to worry about if the economy is good or bad or good or not. If you seize the opportunity, stop being fearful, because what is fear? Fear is basically you're in the past, you're worried about something that has happened in the past, but you're also worried about what will happen, and you're missing out on what is happening. And if you focus on what is happening and you seize the opportunities, then you will be okay with what you have where you are right now, not just today, but at this very minute. Y'all, I could have bought into the emotional whatever rainstorm I was having this morning. Just woke up with it. I could have bought into it. right? But that's not my economy now. That's not where I live. That's not where I lived. Now I recognize it because where I lived, I didn't have to be there. I did not have to be and go some of the places I went internally and mentally. I went on my own. Fear. Fear got me stuck there. Fear had me racing ahead, thinking that it was going to be like it was then. And what am I doing? Missing out on the opportunity that making sure that I do today, that I don't live yesterday so that I have the same thing today. And I don't live today so that I have the same thing tomorrow. If you want change, you got to be the change. If you want the economy to change, change the economy within you. And you won't buy into these things. So when these things are gone, they don't make you. They've not made you, they won't make you. But if they're making you, whether you're poor, rich, or in the middle, if they're making you now, they're going to make you tomorrow. If you allowed them to make you yesterday and today, they're going to make you tomorrow. So don't be afraid to go out on the limb. We talked about that yesterday. That's where the fruit is. Brandon, this one blessed me because it says, don't be afraid to go out on the limb. So if you go out on the limb, and remember I talked about how we'll see the fruit on the tree and don't even think about the tree. It's only when the fruit is bad, you see the fruit dying, you think, oh, what's wrong with the tree? But if you go out on the limb, you got to go out from the tree. Y'all get it? Because you can't go out from, if you out on the limb, you got to climb out from the tree, baby, onto the limb where the fruit is, right?
Yeah.
Inside. You got to come outside of yourself and know what you're bringing out. Know what that limb is produced, the seed that was planted for you. Because God gave you a seed. All of us got a seed, purpose. And it could be chicken. All me and Brandon and whoever else is listening. Brenda, Aunt Richette, I saw you out there. We can all have a chicken seed. But there's something about the way you do your chicken that only somebody gonna want. They might want only your stuff on Wednesday. They might, oh, I got a taste of the way Tammy does her chicken on Friday. What's your economy? What is it? And then I will not succumb to fear. Don't succumb to your fear. And I know y'all, we get it. There's still some days I wake up with anxiety about some things, but I ain't gonna buy into it. I'm not gonna buy into it. That's not my economy. But reading this, I'm thinking, wow, this is 2024 here. We just don't. We're not. We don't notice it. But the worst economy, the worst thing that is going on here is what's going on and what we are allowing to go on within us. So over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. You gave me some things to think about. One of the things that came to mind was autonomy. What is the
Mm,
autonomy of your economy, of your internal economy? Right? What is the autonomy of your internal economy? And do we even, speaking to myself first, have we contemplated this enough to know the metrics, to know what we're even measuring in the economy of self? You know, if country's economy has a gross domestic product, right, as an accumulation of all the products that it produces and sells, then what is that for us? What is the material or even intangible exchange that's happening? What are we trading? What is our currency, right? What is the currency in the economy of self? These are the things for me when you say economy, and then we speak about the inward economy. I'm instantly relaying things from economics to our state of being, to our experience. So one simple way to define economy, it's the way people spend money and the way people make money, right? And so in that right there, money is the currency, right? But what's the currency if the economy is inward? What's the economy? What's the currency of the inward economy, right? And in my opinion, It's what you do with your time, both internally and externally. Because that's the one thing that you can't get back. You cannot get back time, right? It waits for no man, woman, or child, right? So one of the determinants, or I'll say, I won't say that's the currency exactly, but it is I would say time it's almost like I mean, it's time. It's you can't even. There's nothing you can describe time with except for time because it's something that is so valuable that if we had no time tomorrow, it doesn't matter how much money we were going to make. Like a couple of days ago, we made the reference, and some of you might remember that if you were offered $1 billion, right, $10 billion, I think was the reference, and and you can take it right now. It can be instantly added to your bank account, but you don't. You can get this $10 billion, but you don't have tomorrow. You just have today, and that's the end of your life. That's the end of your time, right? Would you take that $10 billion? The majority of us would say no. And there might be somebody right now with $10 billion in their bank account who God has decreed does not have tomorrow written for them, right? And in that state, and in that situation, you are wealthier than that person. I didn't say richer, as far as a financial side, but you are wealthier than that person with 10 billion. So the external economy, while it can have some effect if we allow it on our internal economy, uh, there is a point of diminishing returns. There's a point where, and diminishing returns means like you can keep doing something, and every time you do it, you get less and less from it, right? You get less and less from it. That's a diminishing return. Once you have once time goes out, you don't care how much money is there. You have old people, right, who might have a lot of wealth, right? Think about this. What is it to to work your whole life? You're 80 years old, right? And that's when you become your goal in life was to become a millionaire. And let's say you didn't reach it until you were 80 years old, right? I heard someone say on a economist. He said that uh, to become a millionaire, he said he thinks it's a lie or something like that to that you can't get rich quick, right? He said the problem is uh, uh, people get rich slow and then they don't have the time to enjoy it. So we're taught to make these small investments over time in a 401k and things like that. And time we're retired, we're a millionaire, right? Or older than that even because their age of retirement is getting late. We're a millionaire. But what did we do? What would be different if we had that ability in our youth, right? If we had that bandwidth in our youth. And so that's external. Now, internally, I think we have a power that isn't determined so much by what happens externally. So what I do in this situation, and what I get from this is figure out what is the economy of yourself.
Mhm.
What's the currency? What are you trading back and forth when you go to different places and you see or speak to different people when you're around different and certain crowds, right? Who are you hanging around and what are they giving you and what are you giving them? What are you guys trading? What's the barter system of your relationships, right? On your mother, our compulsion to suffering may be playing themselves out in our feelings of attraction. It's interesting. And or attachment, right? Or
What are you
attachment. So
attracted to, and what do you find yourself being attached to? Because most times, and I'll try to find this, we I don't want to say. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Well, no, it's one that talks about how we fall in love and even are attracted to things and people who love us in a familiar way, our
mm,
familiar way of being loved. right? And so while you the past, instead of worrying about your past, deal with your past.
And is it because of fear?
Understand. Is what, because of fear?
Is you think people aren't dealing with their stuff because of fear?
I feel people, it is in a sense, but it's fear of being, people just don't want to be hurt anymore. I think it comes down to, and you got to get out of the stage of why not you? Like, you are just like all of us. Everybody, don't care how much y'all play the game, has been through some stuff, right? That you could write about right now today. Everyone, right? So why hold on to it? Why woe it's me? No, woe it was you, and it was not you then. Things happen. Like I say, tires go flat. Take care of your well before you run thirsty, right?
Right.
So fear, yes, but I think it's fear of people don't want to deal with things. And trauma is trauma. Yeah, it will mentally stop you. But you guys, once we know what trauma is and what it does, can we not then have the faith enough in God and ourselves to not let it do it to us in for the future? Can we just let it be? And I'm telling you from somebody who lived in their head and still do to a degree. But I'm getting better because I want to be better. I don't want to react to myself anymore. I don't want to react to people. I want to respond. I want healthy, loving relationships. Have y'all noticed, and this is one thing in my head this morning, how good we are, most people, to people who we feel have not validated us, while there's somebody right there in your life that's been trying to love on you, be there for you, be there for you, but you keep running after the people who are running after people. Stop running after people who are running after people. Run to the people who have showed up for you and will continue to do so. Stop beating them, because you know what? That's a reflection of you. That's like being out in the wilderness and having a choice to go choose a beautiful bird, right? Or the bear. Oh, I'm going to go over here and sit with the bear, because that's the state of your economy. I'll use this one. I don't know why it come to mind. Ladies, I ain't talking about us. I'm a woman. I'm a woman just like you, and I want for you what I want for myself and for my granddaughter. You know, we will meet a good man, and because we don't know what a good man looks like, oh, he's a punk. He's feminine. He ain't rough enough around the, whatever. But then it comes a time when you look at that rough joker, and you know that his roughness don't give anything to your economy.
Mm.
And even if it does, your economy says, baby, we need more.
Or
It
it's
ain't
fool's
about.
gold.
Right. So you have to
Putting
understand
fool's
how
gold to
you
your
are
coffee.
wired. We are hardwired to seek meaning of life outside of us.
Can I
Hardwired.
read something? I want
Yes,
to read
please
something to
do.
you, Mom.
Please do.
So when you first, a couple, maybe like 2 minutes ago, you said seeking validation elsewhere. At the center, I was reading something on the economy of self. It says, at the center of one's greatness, and this is speaking about the economy of self, at the center of one's greatness is production value, right? So GDP means
Mm,
gross domestic product. So at the center of one's greatness is production value. The most successful people, no matter their discipline, are such because of how well they can produce. Their production is all based on the value of it, and on the value of it and value as we know it to be, is all on perception, right? This is why one must learn to produce for themselves above all else. Those who chase external validation, and when you said the word external validation, or when you mentioned that, I was reading that word when you said it. It was
mm,
fun. And so that's how I kind of perked up. Those who chase external validation of their efforts often undermine their own production value.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to read that
Yeah.
again. Those who chase external validation of their efforts often undermine their own production value, right? So the more you believe in the value of what you are producing, the more others will too. We must influence ourselves first before we can even begin to influence others. Basically, be, your number one fan. You gotta believe it first, right? Because belief is contagious. You got cults out here where people believe some of the craziest stuff, all because some figure in the center of it either really believed or really deceived, right?
Mm.
And people are looking for validation. And so if they get that validation, even if it's through deception, even if it's through a game, to bring it home, even if it's through your organization, your corporation, or going up higher into the totem pole at your job, um, we're still are we is the economy and our production based on what we're doing or what they want us to do? What
Woo.
what got a booger in my nose? No, just what what?
Y'all, can we just keep it really
Huh?
real today? Can we keep it really, really real today? Because this is going to sound like, oh, Tammy. Y'all, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago. But I didn't say what it was. I got this word I don't know what happened, and it just kind of it started, and it's just so freeing for me.
Oh,
Um,
I already know. Okay.
and y'all might want to try it. Okay. So like say, and I'm gonna use something just kind of mild. Um, and this is maybe where it
Wow.
started. Like car pulls over in front of you, like really like pull over in front of you, and y'all get it. Sometimes I make the same mistake. Like I've pulled over in front of people, and I'm going somewhere with this. Um, and I really didn't mean to. I didn't see them or something. It happens, right? But when people would pull over in front of me, like I used to have road rage so bad, right? And now I have
Mhm.
I have grace, right? I have to really feel like you just intentionally being a fool, and then even I'm being cautious about it. I'm not letting it get in my spirit. But I have this word that I say now, and I'm just gonna give you it's a 4-letter word. Okay, it starts with F, ends with K. And everything and everybody that starts to disturb me in a certain way, I just say, F that car. I've F'd some people. And I don't mean it in the sense of
Yes, you
that, but
do.
it free
Yes, you
it
do.
just
No,
it
I'm just
it's
playing.
freeing for me. It's
I'm
free.
just playing.
No, really, like it's a releasing of it. Really. It's a
Yeah,
release.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
maybe some people, yeah. But see, for those people, I'm not gonna keep saying that. You just got to go. If I got to keep effing you in and I don't say it to them, I don't say it out to them. I say it for me. I say it for me. Like
Yeah, yeah.
if it's a situation,
Like F it kind of thing. I'm
yeah,
just saying.
go on. And that's to me is saying, what am I buying and what am I selling? What am I trying to buy from you and what am I trying to sell you? And not in the way of goods, but the energy that we're exchanging, right? So if I find myself keep having to F you, then you and I need to have a conversation. And I don't say it to you, right? In that sense, the F you. But this is something else, and this is where I'm going with this, y'all. You got to take care of you. Stop
Yeah.
being a yes man and a yes woman, and a no man and a no woman. Stop saying no to things that are gonna help you, right? Because we avoid those things. New people, new people don't require much of you in your life. It's the people who know you, right? New people come, oh, you the representative. So you're lying to yourself and to them, right? New people in your life, they don't require you to turn the mirror inward. It doesn't require you to look at your economy, look internally for your economy or even outwardly. What are you buying? What are you spending your money on? Because whatever you're spending your money on, that's what your time is going to. You're working for that thing. Is it valuable? Does it bring value to your life? Right?
Yeah.
So I think most of us are playing. So if you we playing Dallas playing them Steelers, right? Dallas playing Steelers. Do you think what would one of the Dallas team members look like going to play on the opposing side? Look how he's gonna stand out. Number
In the
one,
middle
he
of the
got
game.
the wrong color on, right? So stop trying to play somebody else's game and in their economy,
And don't let
especially
them
if
in
you
your
don't know
huddle,
what you're
right?
buying and selling. Say that, Brandon, again.
Don't let members of the team of the other team in your huddle. See your
Right.
playbook. Why you
We
showing them your
huddle up
playbook?
and play on the on opposing team.
Why you showing them your playbook?
Right. Right. So you buying
You
and
know what I mean?
selling goods that you take
Um,
home and
I-
you ain't gonna even buy, eat, whatever, won't. So,
can
Brad,
I
I'm gonna
wanted
turn
to
it over to you. I'm gonna
I've been
shut up
reading
because
this.
I don't want the Instagram to break off, and they may have comments. So I promise I'm gonna shut up so we can get off right at 8.
Okay, I want to
I
read
promise.
this because I've been reading and listening to you at the same time, and there's some really good things and I think we should really focus on what we're producing. Like, you don't
Okay.
have an economy if you're not producing something, right? If you're not producing, you're stealing something and trying to sell it. So
All right.
it's about being productive. And so I read the part where it says we must influence ourselves first before we can even begin to influence others. The more balanced we become in our lives, the more productive we become. And this is about the economy of self. Increased production is not always a result of more effort, right? Just because you're trying real hard doesn't mean you're working smart, right? And being
Mm,
efficient. Oftentimes we become more productive when we learn the most efficient way through a task or routine. This increased production takes less time and is of higher quality. Now we are free to spend more energy in other disciplines over time, mastering them, and again, creating more time for ourselves to pursue something else, right? So, like, it comes back. So, this actually agrees with something I said earlier. It's about time, right? The whole reason that we want money is to free up our time, right? You're literally investing and saving, for example, is buying your time in the future, buying your freedom to do what you want to do in the future. Um, to increase productive capacity, we must be willing to give up time in the beginning to get it back later or in the future. There is no way around it. The only way to become great is by doing. We
mm,
try and find shortcuts, to our goals, detours that often seem like they are helping us get to our destination quickly, yet always seem to take us a longer route in the end. It's oftentimes a distraction from our actual goals. We must be willing to give up instant gratification in order to produce value that will help attain our dreams. The path towards greatness is paved through increasing your production um, uh, value. We maximize our ability to produce through forging our economy of self stronger and stronger. This is achieved through treating ourselves well. In order to treat ourselves better, we must aim to eat better,
mm.
train smarter, sleep more efficiently, and do the things we need to do for ourselves every single day. Like this, like showing up. Thank y'all for the people who do that. This directly correlates to becoming more productive. We will begin to find ourselves with more time and more time. With the additional time, we can do more self fulfilling things, become more self fulfilled. Becoming more
Mm.
self fulfilled is a path towards happiness. And isn't that what we're all chasing in the end? To become the most efficient and effective in our lives is to become more productive, to learn how to maximize your time and energy to produce the most valuable results while still having to enjoy life is the key. It is all based in balance, something we as humans rarely achieve. Life is in is in a constant state of change, a constant state of growth or decay. To find that balance is a subjective juggling act of external and internal stimuli. Balance, in a way, is a paradox. And so, and there's more. There's about there's two more paragraphs. You want me to keep it going?
Well, it's 7:55. Will you send me that and I'll post it? Because again, this
Sure,
this
sure,
is
sure.
this people got to decide to do more contemplation. How do you spend your time? Instead of watching that movie, read more on this. Brandon, I have something up there. Will you read that? And then if you're
Sure.
okay, if you got comments on Instagram, will you read those? I'll read ours briefly. I'll go through them quickly and then we'll get off.
Yes, yes. It says, we seek to recover from loss, loneliness, or heartache by purchasing unnecessary items. We seek fulfillment in material things. We try to impress people with things, titles, rather than who we are.
All right.
Interesting, interesting.
All right.
Yeah, I really like this idea of studying and looking at what are the metrics of the economy of self, the internal economy of self. For yourself, find out what your metrics are. What are you measuring the economy of self by? Are you being accountable and taking account inventory of the economy of yourself? You know, and do you love yourself? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have self-love, you can't maximize your production internally, externally, in any kind of way, shape, form of, or capacity. So it's hard to achieve self-mastery if you don't love yourself, because you're not passionate about yourself. You're passionate about things and people and materials and status and money and things like that. But if you don't, if you're not passionate about your, then you don't have the tool or the mechanism to even receive love,
Mm,
right?
right.
Love, you can't receive love if you don't love yourself. You can't receive all of these things that you say that you want and these goals that you have, because you're literally a black hole if you don't love yourself, right? You don't have anything there. You're just sucking away at everything that you touch, you know? So bring light into that situation and love yourself. And without that, nothing else is possible in the realm of self-mastery. So we don't have any we don't have any comments, but we do have some people watching through.
Okay.
The woman that came earlier is her daughter is now here. So it was Aida earlier, and now Heba has joined her daughter, and
Okay.
then my brother Los the
Great.
King is on here. So
Great. All
shout out
right.
to
So I
y'all.
have a few here. I think I missed saying good morning to Mark Walker. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the barbecue. Auntie Richetta says good morning. So good morning to you. Miss Brenda said that she did not read ahead, but she has a feeling that it was going to be a great one. Miss Brenda says, "Speak on it, Tammy. We'll have to re-listen. We'll have to re-listen to these and take notes. A lot of truth being spoken today." Auntie Richetta says, "Speak, nephew. Speak, auntie. Auntie is listening."
I love you,
Uh,
Auntie.
yeah, and Miss Brenda says, "My cup runneth over today with this one. Love it. This will definitely keep me full all day today." Great, great. And I'll post when Brandon sends that to me. I'll post it out there on the page so that you guys can go back and take a look at it. That being said, and I have not spoken to Brandon about this, especially about time and taking care of yourself. So I'm planning to have movie and popcorn night with grandbabies, and I'm going to try to convince Brandon to pre-record today so that I can enjoy them in the morning and that he can get some rest. So we will be on regardless, because if he doesn't want to do it that way, we'll just do it live. But it could be that we pre-record it, and that way you can get up at your leisure and listen as well. So wanted to throw that out there. All right.
I sure appreciate it. A little bird told me something about that, that
Oh,
you might have wanted to you might wanted to pre-record or something like that. You know, she can't hold water.
yeah.
Um, but you know what? I mean, I'm up anyway praying in the morning.
Okay. All right.
That's the thing, is
Well,
like I'm up anyway. You know what I would rather do?
well,
I would rather get my butt to bed. I would rather force myself to
so
just
that you'll be
go to
okay in the
bed.
morning.
Right, right. Because I
Okay.
mean, I like getting up in the middle of the night. Like I'll get up, go get me something to drink. I'll go pray a little bit, you know, meditate a little bit, walk around, and then go back to sleep. But I'm gonna see what I can do about just sleeping through the night, because I do a lot. I really do. I do a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So There you go. We'll do it.
We'll
So
do
I'm
it.
good. I'm good with it. I'm good.
Okay.
So we'll be here. All right. All right. So peace, you guys. Thank you for chiming in. Do some contemplating on this one. Do some contemplating. Look in that mirror. Turn it inward. Don't walk away and forget what you saw, and don't walk away and remember what you see and do nothing about it.
Mm,
Okay.
that's
Go
it.
back tomorrow with something a different look. All right. So peace to y'all. Be great. Brandon, you want to read us out?
Sure, sure. Today's title was The Economy Within You. And the quote from Janie Mines, the first African American graduate from the U.S. Naval Academy, said, "Don't be afraid to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is." Don't be afraid to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. And the affirmation that we read 3 times, one for me, one for you, one for the person that you're inviting to the barbecue. And I'm inviting all of y'all to the barbecue with the sheikhs um, uh, on the weekends, or to come to our Eid celebration. You guys can come too. And let me know if y'all are interested in that. But the affirmation today says, "I will not succumb to fear. I will not succumb to fear." We read that the fear lack of consumer confidence caused a recession on top of the recession, caused a depression on top of the depression, right? So the economy might have been on a downturn, but what made it go even further was the fear within the people uh, in the economy. And so one more time, I will not, it's at the bottom of your screen, I will not succumb to fear. Don't stretch out your stresses. Stretch out your successes. Oftentimes we talk about our stresses. So keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. But keep your fears to yourself. All right. That's all we got today, guys. I love so much. Appreciate y'all for coming here every morning. I don't mind waking up, no matter how sleepy I am, to be here with y'all to get this daily motivations for African American or for anybody's success. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow at 7 a.m. Go to the YouTube channel In This Season Podcast. Subscribe, like, turn on notifications to let them know that this is the content you want to see, so that you're notified when we go live. Love y'all so much. We'll see you tomorrow.